Well, hello there, and welcome to Cityline. We are zooming from my kitchen into your home, and thank goodness the heat is over with because we have some really wonderful things happening in our community that we can't wait to share with you. The Humane Society will be here to talk about their adoption program and some of the furry friends that are looking for a forever home. We had Christy and Mark on about 90 days ago. They were here with the Dickman Mill reopening, and now we are going to talk with them about a celebration. Speaking of celebration, Tacoma Pride 2001, I have Troy and Marcus here to talk about how we're going to celebrate Pride in the month of June and in the month of July. And of course, our pet of the week, Julie, will be here with our furry little sweet pea. And then with me right now is somebody who needs no introduction. She has been a trailblazer and a powerhouse in Tacoma for so many years. And we hear that she's on the verge of retiring. Yep, I'm talking about Miriam Barnett, the CEO of YWCA of Pierce County. Hello, Miriam, and welcome to Cityline.
Thank you so much, Amanda. You're so right. The word retirement isn't quite right. I call it rewiring.
Rewiring. Yes. I love that. That works. So, you and I have chatted for a year virtually. I don't even think I've seen you in front of your house. I haven't seen you at some of the places I always run into you in Proctor. There's light at the end of the tunnel, don't you think?
Absolutely. And I am so grateful. I have missed hugs. I have missed people. I have missed everything that we haven't had for almost a year and a half. It kind of like when I talk about time, I forget and I say, oh, a year ago. Oh no, 2 years ago, because the whole time of COVID is just like, I've lost that time.
Yeah, it is. I have that same thing. I think that that's something that's in the air. As a result of the pandemic, your building was closed to the public. What are your plans for reopening?
Great question. We have been working on that for a few months, actually, and we are ramping up at this time. So starting July 1, our shelter's always been open just like usual, but our other staff will be back in the building a minimum of 3 days a week. And then we're hoping to start opening up for programs, starting with children's program, because the kids need us the most, and that's been the hardest, on August 1. So we're ramping back up to be able to offer in-person services again.
Oh, I love that. It's such good news. And I can just hear all the parents going, yes, thank you. So as we reopen up again and you start to bring people back in the building and programs start to be reactivated, what type of donations do you need to help this process?
Well, that's an excellent question. We're pretty good on our PPE. We've ordered up new things so that all the staff still feel very safe and protected when they meet with clients. We've rearranged spaces, done all those things. We just continue to pivot. But the main thing I would think we need right now, we always need those essential items like diapers, like ethnic hair product, like full bottles of deodorant, shampoo, all of those kinds of things. Toilet paper, like anything you would think that you need, we also need, because now we have even more clients and tenants in need. And so we go through those products really quickly. And also, if you stay tuned to YWCA Pierce County's Facebook page, when we are really getting low on something, we post and we ask, because you don't get what you don't ask for. So we're not shy about that. So yes. We let the public know. And we also create wish lists on Amazon because we try to make it very, very easy for people to donate without having to even leave their homes.
Oh, I love that, because we haven't been able to leave our homes, and when we have this kind of heat, nobody wants to leave their homes. So I'm sure Amazon was very busy with people shopping and hoping to remember the YWCA as they check out and do some donations.
Yes, thank you.
Miriam, you called it rewiring, and for people who perhaps have not heard, you've been helping the survivors of domestic violence as the CEO of the YWCA for 16 years. And you've announced that it's time. You're handing off the torch.
Yes.
So, Miriam, when is your last day? how can we ever replace you? What will we do?
Well, my last day is July 9th. So
Okay.
the clock is really ticking fast now. How you'll replace me is the board will name my successor soon. And so I'm very, very excited and waiting in anticipation with everyone else because, I don't have any insider information on that, which is appropriate.
Yes.
And, I have met my vision here, which was to create these spaces for clients to heal that are beautiful and full of dignity. And so once my vision has been created, not only am I 65 and tired, but I also have a lot of ideas of things I want to still do, but I also met my vision. So it's time and it's appropriate to move aside, step aside, and let someone else come in here with their vision and see where they can take the YWCA because it's ready for a new leader.
Yeah. Oh, sweetie, your soul print is all over the YWCA. I want to back up for a moment. Rag's wearable art show touches your heart in two ways. Because one, it is a fundraiser for the YWCA, and another because if people don't know this, and I think if they don't know it, maybe they haven't been around you enough. You are an artist. Your background in the nonprofit world began in 1987 as the executive director of Allied Arts of Whatcom County. How did you make the transition to assisting those in need from producing art?
Yeah, that's an excellent question. It was very organic, I would say, and very fluid. My first 15 years, I've been in nonprofit 35 years, and my first 15 were in the arts, including being on the Washington State Arts Commission. So I was very, very committed. I'm married to an artist. My husband is a full-time potter, and I started my career as an artist. I was for 12 years before I started nonprofit work, a weaver and designer of clothes for women and children, where I made my own fabric. And so the arts live in my soul. I made the transition when I got a job offer to raise $1 million for the Fund for Women and Girls at the Greater Tacoma Community Foundation. And that was my detour. And I stayed on that path. That became my new journey. And, it really completes me as a full person, as a full human, because I was raised in a family. My dad was the CEO of a nonprofit. It was a social justice focus. And so I came full circle back to my childhood and back to what I remember my dad talking about, which was, how do we provide a better life for everybody? Mm-hmm. And so he died when I was 18, and I have felt his presence in this job so, so much. And that has been a blessing. The other thing I'm grateful for, having been in the arts for 15 years and being an artist still, that is my therapy, is how I do my jewelry and my other things that I do. Looking forward to doing more of that. Is that it came with me. I actually think I've contributed more to the arts, not in the arts, if that makes sense, because I brought the arts here. And so all of our buildings, I could show anyone beautiful, beautiful, beautiful details that are all artistic. In fact, right now a mural is being painted on our Dorothy Height apartments. And that's going to be available for everyone to see because it's on the outside of the building. So just making sure the arts follow me everywhere, because they're not an extra. They're not a frill. If we integrate the arts in everything we do, we're going to have a better society, a better world, and a more balanced community. Mm. So, yeah, the arts are so important, and I'll never, ever not believe that.
Beautifully said. And, you also didn't put in there, you make the world's best chocolate basket of it. I know the Home at Last project is very special to you. Mm-hmm. For people who haven't heard about that, can you tell us about it?
Yeah, so the Home at Last project, I've always known and I've always said this is going to be my swan song. So when I came here, I'd never done a capital campaign. And we started with a $5 million campaign to move our shelter in 2008, then a $1.2 million campaign to redo the old shelter into expanded legal and children's program. And then this final campaign was $23.2 million. So that was a big jump. And I don't think I can beat that one. So once again, time to leave, can't beat it. But once again, I wanted all of our spaces to be beautiful. And so I went kind of systematically, starting with the shelter, seeing the difference beautiful space made, starting this journey, upgrading the building for our other programs. And then, in our community, like every community, there is not enough housing for homeless families. There's not not enough housing for low-income families and individuals. And so I decided, let's be part of the solution and not part of the problem. You know, our staff with our shelter clients, they spend the 90 days, most of those 90 days that they're in our shelter, trying to find their next step with our staff's help to permanent housing. So it's only 54 units, but 91 bedrooms. And it's a start, you know, it's what we could do as the YWCA. And, you know, I'm not a housing expert. We don't plan to be housing experts here at the YWCA, but we could make a difference. And so we raised the money and we opened. First families moved in. A few families got in there at the end of February to meet a deadline for our tax creditor. And they all had to live on the same floor because it was the only floor that was finished, but now we're completely occupied. And it also was really important to me that these families that were coming out of homelessness had beautiful apartments that have soft closing cabinets. I mean, apartments that you or me would just love to live in, not made with cheap materials, that every aspect of the building shows that we care about them and that the community cares about them. So most of them have views. The few that don't have views just go up to the rooftop, and that's an area for everyone to enjoy and take in those beautiful, beautiful views of our waterway and our mountain.
You know, that project is going to be a living legacy that has your name on it. So when I look at it like that and all that you have accomplished, what's next?
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah, it is.
So, you know, me being me, I have a really long list.
Yes.
Of every idea you'd ever think of, and maybe a few you never would. There's some different ones on there. There's one on my list that includes a possible food business, but I'm not going to say any too much about anything because, you know, it's a long list and I haven't chosen. But the very first thing I'm going to do on July 10th, well, after I'm on jury duty, which is the following week. Thank you, Pierce County. That was nice. That was a nice retirement gift. I'm going to take a break. And I'm taking, metaphorically, I'm taking my car out of drive and I'm going to put it in neutral. And I'm going to just stay there and see how long I can do it. Wish me luck. Because I just need some time to be in my garden, to organize my studio so I can create art again, to just rest. It's been a long time since I've had a good night's sleep. And I want to see what that feels like. And then when I can't stand it any longer, I'll choose from my list. And it will either be a consulting business, it will be one of many, many ideas. It might be a few of those ideas. But it's fun to make the list. And now I'm just going to wait and see what my heart wants to do.
I love that. Well, Miriam Barnett, if we all followed our hearts, we would never say goodbye to you as the CEO of the YWCA. But change is constant. And I love how you said it's time for somebody else to lead this organization now. I know where you live. I walk by your garden. I see your beautiful haven where you and your husband hang out. And I'm going to be over nudging you and going, can I have a bite of those cherry tomatoes, please?
There's plenty.
Miriam Barnett, goodbye is not right. It feels weird. So I'm going to say I look forward to seeing you after you've had a good night's sleep. And I look forward to seeing you with a very artistic pen, checking off that list of things that you're going to do. And of course, we love you, Miriam. Thank you so much for all that you've done for the city of Tacoma and Pierce County.
Thank you, Amanda. It's been a blessing. And thank you for all the excellent reporting and interviewing you do for our community. Mm-hmm. You really help nonprofits share our message. And that is so important. And I shout out to Fred, too, because the two of you are just made of gold. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.